But is it true that you said Hitler didn't kill enough Jews during the war?
Imagine living under a dictator so terrifying that people whispered he didn't just kill his enemies, he ate them. This wasn't a movie monster. This wasn't some ancient warlord. This was Idi Amin, the man who ruled Uganda in the 1970s. And to this day, his name is spoken with the kind of fear reserved for legends of pure evil. Idi Amin didn't rise to power quietly. He stormed into it in 1971, overthrowing Uganda's president and taking the throne for himself. At first, people celebrated. They thought maybe, just maybe, he'd be a strong leader. But soon, the celebrations turned to screams. Amin wasn't here to lead. He was here to dominate, and he did it with violence. Under Amin's rule, Uganda became a slaughterhouse. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed. Political rivals? Gone. Soldiers who disagreed with him? Gone. Ordinary people who said the wrong thing? Gone. It didn't matter who you were. If Amin thought you were against him, you disappeared. But the killings weren't even the most terrifying part. It was the rumors, the whispers that slipped through the cracks in hushed voices at night. People said Amin didn't just kill his enemies. He ate them. Stories spread that inside the presidential palace, human organs were kept in freezers. That his kitchen staff sometimes cooked more than just goat or beef. That if Amin wanted to make a point, he would literally devour the flesh of those who betrayed him. Some of his own soldiers defected and claimed to have seen it with their own eyes. And the wildest part? Amin didn't exactly deny it. In fact, sometimes he fed the rumor. In an interview with a foreign journalist, he once laughed and said, "I don't like human flesh. It's too salty." Imagine the president of your country casually joking about eating people. Was he serious? Was he joking? Or was it psychological warfare? Nobody knew. And that's exactly what made it so terrifying. Because whether or not he truly practiced cannibalism didn't matter. What mattered was that everyone believed he could. And that belief gave him godlike power. Who would dare rise up against a man who might not just kill you, but eat you? Amin cultivated this monstrous image. He crowned himself with ridiculous titles like His Excellency, President for Life, Field Marshal Al-Haji Dr. Idi Amin, VC, DSO, MC, Conqueror of the British Empire in Africa. He wanted to sound untouchable, unstoppable, less of a man, more of a force of nature, a living nightmare. Meanwhile, Uganda was collapsing. In 1972, Amin expelled tens of thousands of Asian citizens who had been the backbone of the economy. He seized their businesses, their homes, their wealth. And what happened? The economy crumbled. Shops closed. Food vanished from shelves. Inflation went wild. And through it all, Amin carried on, larger than life, while his people starved and trembled in fear. On the world stage, he played the role of the mad tyrant perfectly. He allied himself with other dictators like Muammar Gaddafi, sent letters taunting world leaders, and positioned himself as an enemy of the West. He thrived on the attention, and every rumor of his cannibalism only made him more infamous. Foreign journalists painted him as a real-life Hannibal Lecter. He was the dictator who might just have human blood on his lips. But eventually, his reign of terror caught up to him. In 1978, he tried to invade neighboring Tanzania. Big mistake. Tanzania struck back, teaming up with Ugandan rebels who wanted Amin gone. By April 1979, Tanzanian forces had rolled into Uganda's capital. Amin's palace was abandoned. His rule was over. And here's the part that feels almost unfair. Idi Amin never faced trial. Never sat in a courtroom to answer for the rivers of blood he spilled. He fled into exile, first to Libya, then to Saudi Arabia. And there, in the comfort of luxury, the so-called cannibal dictator lived quietly for decades. Until 2003, when he died peacefully in a hospital bed. But his legend never died. To this day, people still argue. Was he really a cannibal? Did he truly feast on the flesh of his enemies? Or was it just one of the greatest rumors of psychological warfare in modern history? The truth may never be known, but what's undeniable is that Amin wanted you to believe it. He wanted to be remembered as something more than a man. He wanted to be remembered as a monster, and in that, he succeeded. Because when people talk about Idi Amin today, they don't just talk about the mass killings. They don't just talk about the economy he destroyed. They talk about the cannibalism, about the dictator who might have turned his enemies into his dinner. This is Takz history, and if you thought this story was dark, stick around, because history is full of monsters who may have been far worse than the myths we tell about them.